Hello everyone, I'm SP, and today's video is going to have me feeling a little conflicted. I say that because the person I'm going to be covering today, in another universe, I actually was working for them, well, am working for them currently. Very long story, I might get into that towards the end of this video, but Preston Plays is who I'm going to be talking about. We're going to be diving into an alleged, I'm saying alleged because I don't know much about the situation yet. I'm going to be learning from this video, but a giant, enormous scam. If you can see that number down there, $25 million. So, without further interruption, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you have anything else you want me to cover. I must admit, I've been running out of ideas, but I really want to continue uploading this with this schedule. So let me know what you guys want me to cover, and let's get started. Bye.
$25 million. If I told you a
Jeez.
Minecraft server could make that money in the span of not even 10 years, you'd probably be thinking I'm talking about Hypixel. But no, I'm talking about a server which is far, far worse. A server owned by some of the biggest and most famous Minecraft YouTubers.
Yeah, is that the Sidemen?
A server which was arguably the most pay-to-win of any server there ever was, one of which had a literal slot machines and actual gambling that raked in tens of thousands of dollars every single day.
Okay, that was only 30 seconds, and that was so much to absorb. Gambling, big names, it's not some other one that everybody already knows is terrible or something. Alright.
In fact, it even got so bad that Mojang had to intervene and ban them over 6 years ago. But it's a server which, through its controversy, Mojang blocks, and infamy, managed to see over 20,000 players online and, of course, $25 million in revenue. Today, I'll tell you the untold story of famous YouTubers Preston and Woofle's Minecraft server, Cosmic PvP, one of the most infamous servers to ever exist that made tens of millions of dollars through illegal child gambling, whilst being banned by Mojang.
Okay, so this doesn't seem like something new. If he said 6 years ago, I could be showing how dumb I am just then. But well, that's the YouTuber again, Preston. We're going to be talking about huge scam, $25 million.
In 2014, Cosmic PvP Factions would first release. But first, this video is sponsored by Hex Gears, creators of the world's first low-profile...
We're not doing that.
Gears Immersion A3 mechanical gaming keyboard for a limited time with the link in the description below. Around the time, Minecraft Factions was one of, if not the most popular Minecraft game mode present on hundreds of servers. It is a game mode which has struggled to remain popular today, ultimately falling out of relevancy for the most part.
You know, I've never really sat down and played Minecraft that much. Excuse me, my voice sounds weird. I actually am coming down with something. I think I'm getting sick, but that's why I got the sick sweater on if you're a long-time viewer. But Minecraft, I've played it before, but I've never like sat down and really got into it because I know it's a very big game. It's getting a movie soon, actually. Horrible looking movie, just terrible, but it's a very big game, and I don't see much of the allure. I'm sorry, Minecraft fans.
Players would make guilds, otherwise known as factions, and build bases often hidden underground or high up in the sky, full of valuable loot. The goal of factions was to find other factions' bases and raid them using TNT cannons, with the one golden rule being that no matter what, every base can be raided. There is no way to make an unraidable base. Think of it like the Minecraft version of Rust, although Minecraft Factions did technically come first, dating back as early as 2010. Anyways, what you need to know is that Factions was a competitive raiding and PvP-centered game mode that comprised of dedication, knowledge, and skill, with individual factions often containing upwards of 30 to 40 people all working together.
That actually sounded very interesting. That made Minecraft sound interesting to me, but I don't play much PC. I'm assuming this is only on PC.
Throughout 2012 and 2013, the game mode gained widespread popularity, with dozens upon dozens of YouTubers making factions videos, many of which beginning their careers playing factions. It had evolved from players building large castles and bases above ground, mostly defending them with iron armor in 2010 and 2011, to players building underground bases made of obsidian and PvPing with enchanted diamond armor, mushroom soups, and golden apples. This is where Cosmic PvP would enter the burgeoning scene. You see, in 2014, many servers realized that the highly competitive and dedicated player base factions drew in was one of which was perfect to monetize. Because factions was so absurdly competitive, with players losing all their items, their bases, and dying super often, it meant that purchasable ranks which gave players advantages through free items and kits were extremely lucrative. Server owners began to realize the potential factions had to make some serious money, far more so than the survival servers and minigame servers, which were also popular around the time. The game mode was an unexplored gold mine. Popular YouTubers from the time, Preston and Mr. Woofles, were currently riding the Minecraft factions wave over on YouTube and had done a very successful series on a faction server in early 2014.
Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Woofles and Preston here with a very, very exciting new series. Welcome to Factions on Extronus.
However, after 50 episodes, that series would ultimately conclude. But in June of that same year, Season 2 of their faction series would begin.
And the reason why is we had a lot of issues with our previous faction server, and so yeah, we've been spinning.
Okay, so before he continues on, I was a little silent there to give more, background, let him give more background about this whole factions thing. It actually sounds very interesting and fun, but it sounded, like a breeding ground for not scammers. I don't say scammers. It's fair, I guess, to make people pay for things sometimes. In this case, it sounds like monetization was just begging to be, I don't know how to put it. Sounds like somebody was begging to make kids pay for stuff there.
Like the last 3 months building our own customized faction server with custom enchants and new war zone and lots of cool new features.
This time, due to whatever issues they were having, they decided to make their own faction server instead. And thus, in mid-2014, Cosmic PvP was born. Cosmic PvP began as any normal faction server at the time, but as you can see from the server store being linked right at the top of every one of Preston's videos, clearly they knew there were hundreds of thousands to be made here. Not long after launch, the server had already begun seeing thousands of concurrent players online daily. It wasn't
except for that one time.
If we go to archives of the server store, we can see that even as far back as mid-2014, Cosmic PvP was already selling space chests, which we can also see from early videos with basically a loot box containing potentially OP items. It's Minecraft gambling, an early version of crates, very unsurprising. They also
Okay, so that's like loot boxes, first off, are like a huge no-no in gaming anyway. That's real interesting that we're including loot boxes, and people see loot boxes as like gambling, and it's
something called the black market, which, while we can no longer view, was likely a selection of kits, commands, and other purchasable pay-to-win goods. Now, compared to what Cosmic PvP would become later, this ultimately wasn't that bad. Despite obviously being pay-to-win and containing gambling, it was very much possible to progress and become a top player entirely free to play. As such, the server would draw large crowds of players who really enjoyed playing it and watching Preston's videos. And undoubtedly, it was a well set up and well run server for the time, deserving of its early but comparatively small success. However, in 2015 and continuing into the later 2010s, things began to change. Cosmic PvP began to change. Minecraft factions began to change, ultimately, as many would say, for the worse. With Minecraft 1.9 releasing in early 2016 and factions being a mode best played in 1.8 due to the PvP, many servers did not update beyond 1.8.9 and had no plans to support any future Minecraft updates where the combat would be different. And since the dedicated player base of factions had now been playing the game a few years, the game needed to evolve. It needed new fresh content to keep players interested. It needed to become more advanced. It was around this time that factions began incorporating a lot of RPG mechanics. Cosmic would lead the charge with such changes, and soon enough, custom enchantments, custom items, abilities, god kits with enchantments exceeding vanilla levels, and much more became commonplace on faction servers. Bases went from underground boxes to sky-high monoliths protected by 5, 10, 50, even hundreds of walls. There was a shift from factions solely focusing on PvPing and raiding to being a much more grindy, wealth-accumulating MMO light, and by that I mean, factions' top prizes and leaderboards became commonplace, where the factions with the most wealth, often in the form of spawners, would receive real money PayPal payouts at the end of each season. Bases which once took only a few minutes to raid would now take advanced cannons hours to blast through. The game mode shifted away from its vanilla survival roots, flying became normal. That's right, most donor ranks gained the ability to fly anywhere on the map, and players would start the server already with diamond tools. In the later 2010s, factions became almost unrecognizable from what it once was only a few years before.
Yeah, it really sounds like the game just changed to, it sounds like it got really unbalanced. That's one thing I've noticed in a game that I like to play, where the balance is really off. Or it's like you can still win with like a level 1 character versus a level 100 character. That's if you can still win it because you're skilled enough. I think there is some balance there, but this sounds like it just completely lost that balance and came in people who were more focused on winning rather than the satisfaction of the game itself took over. Does that make sense? So I definitely get that this game took a turn for the worse there, and we still haven't gotten to the $25 million scam though.
Become much more
I mean, I guess we're kind of there, but
complex. Where once a protection 4 set of diamond armor with a sharpness 5 sword was the best gear you could get, now that was considered early game or starter gear.
Yeah.
That being said, this gameplay shift wasn't actually a bad thing. With it, factions continue to remain popular. Dozens of servers such as the Archon, Psycho PvP, and of course Cosmic PvP continue to see player counts well into the thousands, and YouTube content surrounding factions and Cosmic PvP especially continue to get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. But with factions becoming much more grindy, so did the potential for increased monetization.
yeah.
Servers now had lots and lots of crates,
Slot
chests,
crates.
mystery boxes, and other assorted versions of loot boxes containing OP items.
Yeah,
costing
jeez.
Anywhere from a few dollars to over 50. Ranks became
Okay, now that's where it's starting to get like really bad. I can see this getting really bad already.
much more pay to win, often giving paying players abilities like flight, which we just talked about,
Yeah.
and now providing absurd advantages over non-paying.
Okay, so then that's where the other bad part comes in. The game seemed to focus more, on if you have the right stuff, you automatically win. So now it's like if you pay for the right stuff, you automatically win. I'm going to mention a game, and people are probably not going to like me mentioning this game, but Overwatch. You don't loot boxes are it's a very thin line, and I see that, and it's like with Overwatch, everything that comes out of a loot box is loot crate or whatever you want to call it, a loot crate, loot box. Everything that comes out is cosmetic. It doesn't affect the gameplay, and so that keeps it more balanced. I never said that Overwatch is 100% balanced. I didn't just say that. But what I just said is that Overwatch does a better job with balancing because everything that comes out of a loot box, loot crate, whatever, is cosmetic. Now, it's been a couple years since I've give a damn about Overwatch, but that's I see that now. I see what's happening here. It's dominoing or snowballing or just getting bigger and bigger. When me and my job, what we were talking about was Katamari. It's Katamariing. I see it.
And also giving them access to god kits with gear that was extremely powerful. Server stores became huge. There were almost a dozen categories of assorted goods you could buy now, with prices entering the hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, look at that,
If you
$58.
didn't have a rank, you weren't going to be able to properly
135.
Spending money became much more necessary in this competitive environment. And of course, Cosmic PvP was at the forefront of this grindy pay-to-win shift.
Yeah.
You can see Reddit posts from the time of older players complaining about how pay-to-win and excessively grindy the server had become, and how you weren't able to compete as a free-to-play player anymore. Factions had changed entirely. Speaking of which, a lot of the footage you've been seeing in this video is from my very own Modern Civilization faction server, which only recently released, where we aim to bring back the more traditional style of Minecraft factions with new updates, fun RPG features like skills, bosses, dungeons, and server-wide
dragon.
events. Factions is my all-time favorite Minecraft mode, and I have so many experiences playing it. There is absolutely zero gambling on my server, and it's very new player friendly. You can build small underground bases or larger
well, here's
ones,
the plug.
and join one of 3 civilizations with special biome-themed perks. So if you are an old school factions fan like myself, or more of a new SMP player, come check it out. Oh, and be sure to subscribe as well. No pressure.
Yeah, subscribe to my
The
channel.
most egregious of Cosmic's monetization had to be its various gambling mechanics, but one feature in particular. Beyond loot boxes and crates, Cosmic PvP was one of the first and only servers to introduce literal slot machines.
Yeah, that's a literal slot
It's
machine.
not like they tried to hide it either and make it seem more harmless like crates. In fact, they straight up called them slots here. Remember, this is a server which gained a lot of its player base through Preston Plays, a YouTuber with a relatively younger skewing audience. Cosmic PvP
Hold on, before we move on, love me some Jesus. I love me some Jesus and I love me some slots. Oh my god.
was promoting gambling to children.
Yeah.
Something highly illegal virtually everywhere worldwide. And this wasn't just the kind of gambling light we see commonly in games like loot boxes and crates, but instead casino-style slot machines.
Yeah.
These were everywhere at the time on Cosmic. Almost every YouTuber who played the server was either given free loot boxes, crates, and slot box tickets to use, or obtained some to use in a video, directly encouraging and exposing these children to the server's gambling mechanics. The items in these could be some of the best on the server. Sometimes it was the only way to get a top rank, making them extremely alluring. The slot tickets, or slot bots,
Oh
as
my
often
God.
called them, were
This
a
is like-
real money pit.
This is like manufacturing child gambling addiction.
And likely what enabled the server to earn a big chunk of its $25 million. In fact, I was told that upon season resets on factions, prisons, and Skyblock, it wasn't uncommon for the server to make 6 figures in their first week.
Today I have a banger for y'all. Today we will be opening up 45 slot tickets.
Oh my god.
Not because I want to, but because I have to, because if they expire.
The in-game slots were a
They
huge success
expire.
monetarily for Cosmic. Not only did they have the same harmful gambling psychology employed as do slots in a casino, but Cosmic also added a layer of FOMO, or fear of missing out, to them,
Yeah.
enabled through the fact that these slot tickets would
Oh
for
my
some
God.
reason expire if you didn't use them soon enough. I have contact with a former higher-up at Cosmic PvP who worked there for some time, and he told me that these slot bots were making the server tens of thousands of dollars every day just by themselves. I
Because
should
you're-
also mention that Cosmic PvP had expanded beyond factions in the later 2010s, and it also opened up a prison and Skyblock server, which was monetized in the same way. A gambling culture rapidly formed on Cosmic PvP. As I was told by a former staff, besides the many paid loot boxes, crates, and slots, it was very common to see players gambling through coin flipping. Coin flipping is a little game where you wager a certain amount of in-game money, another player calls your wager, and you then have a 50-50 chance to either double your wagered money or lose it all. Normally it's harmless as it's just in-game money, but the issue begins when that in-game money has real world value.
$15 million? Please. Can I take it off my headset, dude? No. Why? No! No! I'm going all in. I'm going all in.
These coin flips only took seconds, and they became so prominent that entire Discords were set up to
That it takes just a second to lose that money. Oh my god.
sell in-game money for real money. So players were effectively coin flipping in-game money, which they would then either buy or sell for hundreds, if not thousands of real dollars in third-party discords. They were effectively coin flipping and thus gambling with real money. And this stuff was huge on Cosmic. You could see hundreds of old coin flip videos still on YouTube. The insane pay-to-win and of course gambling that became rampant on Cosmic PvP would ultimately culminate in the server being blocked by Mojang in May of 2017. They were one of the first Minecraft servers to be blocked, and to this day, over
Jeez.
7 years later, that same IP that was initially blocked still remains blocked. To explain, in early 2016, Mojang introduced code that would block vanilla clients from joining Minecraft servers which broke the game's EULA. Servers that were blocked were often the most egregiously monetized of them all, as despite the strict EULA rules in place at the time, many servers broke them and continued to operate scot-free. Upon being blocked, you would think that this would spell the end of Cosmic PvP and the huge child gambling operation entirely. Right? Wrong.
Oh, before he gets into it even more, This is already so much going on. Slot machines, quick on the street gambling, loot boxes, pay to win. It's already crazy, and it gets worse. It gets worse.
You see, the blocks only apply to modern Minecraft versions, which at the time, many of the biggest faction servers like Cosmic were not running,
Yep.
as they were still on 1.8.
Yep.
So their player base could connect and continue playing no issue. Cosmic would even later
Which now makes it illegal. Which now makes it underground.
release their own Minecraft client called Cosmic Client, which of course had their server unblocked and accessible. As such, Cosmic PvP was almost entirely unaffected by this block, and
Yeah.
continued seeing thousands of players online throughout the late 2010s. However, things would begin to change entering 2020. It is now 2020. Cosmic has been operational for over 6 years and by all means is still very successful. Despite no longer peaking at the 5,000 to 6,000 players it once was, Cosmic was still seeing close to 2,000 peak players every month, and with Minecraft's resurgence in popularity the year prior, also saw a lot of YouTube content being made on the server again. But factions as a game mode and 1.8 PvP was beginning to die out. Minecraft had received so many updates since 2014 that 1.8 was really now showing its age, and outside of the better PvP, was significantly inferior to modern Minecraft in every way. Cosmic PvP factions was dying. Factions used to bring in upwards of 5,000 players a day alone, and now it was barely bringing in more than a few hundred. You can see some of these servers' long-time players talking about this and complaining about how the server's extremely grindy pay-to-win mechanics and extreme number of custom features like enchantments had made the game no longer fun to play and no longer new player friendly.
Now we all know that, most servers in general these days are very pay to win, but Cosmic really brings us to a whole nother level. Most servers don't have as many G-kits as Cosmic does.
I'm sorry, I'm
G-kits
learning a
and kits
lot
in
here.
general. There is no way you are playing Cosmic if you do not have top rank. PvP has always been more enchant based, not really skill based, more enchant. Once you start adding a number of enchants where you can't keep track anymore, I feel like that's when it's starting to become a problem.
However, Cosmic still had their Skyblock and Prison server, which were unaffected by the 1.8 changes and factions decline, as they aren't as PvP centric, and in the case of Skyblock, which released in February 2019, were actually on newer versions of the game, so things were still going steady.
They had quite a few content creators back in the second season of Cosmic Sky. They'd sorted out the bugs, they sorted out the meta from the first season. Now this season, with the advertising of the YouTubers on board, the server peaked at over 5,000 players.
In fact, with YouTube promotion from dozens of large YouTubers such as The Pack and even some of the Sidemen, Cosmic Sky would peak at over 5,000 players online in their second season, and then over 7,000 in their third, almost rivaling the peak of factions all those years ago. Cosmic Sky also had very much retained the gambling culture Cosmic PvP factions did, and I was told that a lot of the economy centered around the slot bots and coin flipping again. Apparently, Cosmic Sky had a large IRL trading scene where players would sell or trade valuable in-game items for PayPal money. It seemed like Cosmic
Oh
had
my God.
successfully adapted to the changing Minecraft landscape.
Yeah, oh
and
my
would be
God.
set for the coming years. Well, that was until 2021.
The problem with Season 3 is, this is where you start to see a bit of the downfall of Cosmic. Now starting from Season 3, you had to use the Cosmic client in order to connect to the server. This was because Mojang had blocked the IP of Cosmic Sky due to it not complying with the EULA.
In January 2021, Cosmic Sky was blocked by Mojang. And since, unlike factions, players were using newer versions of the game, this time they couldn't as easily skirt their punishment. While players using the custom Cosmic client were unaffected, new players who wouldn't even know what the client was wouldn't be able to connect to the server and join it for the first time, meaning almost no new players were joining the server anymore. Combined with some poorly received updates around the time, you can see here that's beginning in March of 2021, about 2 months after the block, Cosmic PvP server play count began to massively drop off. By the end of 2021, the server's play count had halved from a peak of close to 2,000 players to a peak of 700 to 800. Here in this video, you can see that Cosmic Sky's play count in early 2022 was now in the double digits, a huge decrease from the hundreds, even close to thousands, it used to be seeing only a year ago. Most of Cosmic PvP's remaining player base was in its prison server and barely holding on faction server. Cosmic Skyblock would shut down 1 year after being blocked in March of 2022, unable to evade their block this time, with it ultimately being the nail in the coffin for them.
But it used to be in the thousands. It literally, sometimes it used to be, you have to keep spamming it to get in. You used to not be able to get in planets. Even if you had like the 3rd rank, you used to not
Wow.
be able to get in a planet. You used to have the top.
Throughout 2022, the player count continued to dwindle. Without Skyblock to bring new players in and factions dying, Prison was the only game mode keeping things afloat, with the server peaking at around 200 to 300 players per month. Still rather decent, but far from the thousands it was once getting. Then, in early 2023, it was announced that Cosmic PvP's Dying Factions mode, their once most popular and most iconic, was shutting down. Now, all that was left was Cosmic Prisons, a mode which, while popular in its own regard, was a far, far cry from Factions' early success and Skyblock's later success. Prisons retained a few hundred players throughout 2023, now the sole Cosmic game mode left operational, but in mid-2023, Prisons would shut down as well.
As you can tell by the title, Cosmic Prisons is shutting down. That is the conclusion of the legacy of Cosmic. That's it for Cosmic for Minecraft servers right now.
Unlike Factions in Skyblock, Prisons was never blocked, but as smaller Cosmic YouTubers said, the game mode simply became too complicated and too grindy for the new age Minecraft player.
The reason why no one wanted to play the server, this server is too complex for a brand new player.
The new age Minecraft player prefers mostly straightforward SMPs like they see all their favorite YouTubers play on. Anything more complex than that is unfortunately asking too much of them. As such, in October 2023, the Cosmic PvP Minecraft server, one of the most successful and well-known, would finally close its doors after almost 10 years of operation. The official website was updated to this: over 5 million unique players with over 20,000 concurrent users at their all-time peak, numbers which can only be rivaled by Hypixel. Over 500,000 downloads of their client and over $25 million in gross revenue. An absurd figure. Ultimately, despite the rampant illegal child gambling the server harbored, it was still a very influential server that is cherished in the memories of many. And it doesn't just have to be memories, well, not for Skyblock anyways, as only about a month ago now, Cosmic Sky actually reopened and is seeing upwards of 1,500 players online daily again. I'm a bit reluctant to show this to you all because, surprise surprise, the money printing slot bot seems to be back. Oh, and let's not forget the $15 and $40 loot boxes, but yes, Cosmic Sky is back as of a month ago. That being said, Cosmic PvP Factions, the server's most iconic game mode, which started it all, may never see the light of day again. Don't be too upset though, as if you are looking for a faction server...
Alright, doesn't know that. Oh my god, that was a lot. Oh, dear. that was a lot. So from the game starting off very innocently to turning into pay to win. Well, I don't think pay to win was the second thing, but turning into you gotta have the best stuff to win or else you're just not gonna win. Then pay for the best stuff so you can win. Then there's slot machines and on the street gambling. All this led by Preston, who's has such a wholesome, goes for such a wholesome, appearance. Oh wow, that was a lot, and I can't. Okay, well, story time. Here's me almost working for Preston. I live in Dallas. And I study, one of my majors, I've double majored. One of my majors is marketing. Back in like 2022, I was looking for jobs because I just left college. And so a YouTuber by the name of Preston came along in my on my feed on the websites I was searching for jobs for. And so it turns out that I like almost worked for Preston, and in another universe I'm connected to this. And the fact that it's coming back and he still has that wholesome appearance is just really messed up and very clearly fake. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.